Lt General Praveen Bakshi was superseded in an episode, in fact, that made headlines for all the wrong reasons for the Indian Army. After that, we were made to believe that all was well. But it quite wasn't. Just a few days before General Rawat took over as the new army chief, there was an address that was made by General Bakshi to his troops in which there were things said which will leave the army really red-faced. Sandeep Unnithan, Executive Editor, India Today, access the audio transcript. Exclusive to India Today.
A controversial appointment that has quaked the army ranks. The country's new chief of the army staff, appointed at the cost of 2 senior officers. And now, a stunning conspiracy charge by one of the generals overlooked for the top office. It hasn't even been 2 weeks since the current chief of the Indian Army took charge, but the storm around his elevation is refusing to die down. In fact, it's getting exponentially worse. General Bipin Rawat jumped over 2 of his seniors for the top job in the army, and a huge debate was ignited over why his seniors were ignored. The man seen to have been sidelined showed immense grace. Lt General Praveen Bakshi accepted the decision, but that wasn't the full story. India Today now has exclusive access to the biggest twist in the tale. India Today has a full copy of the stunning speech that the superseded officer, Lt General Praveen Bakshi, delivered to soldiers under his command the day his junior Bipin Rawat took over as India's army chief.
Why am I not prepared? No soft offer, no skeletons in my closet, no aspirations for seeking any appointment in the way ahead. So why am I not prepared? Something which is already partially in the open domain has been written about. I would like to tell my command. There has been a malicious campaign to smear my name. A very deeply rooted conspiracy. Who was it? Why did he do it? What was the motive? It is not exactly clear. I started getting a sense of it about a month before the announcement. But it was officially confirmed to me that actually it started almost 5 to 6 months before the announcement. I was not resigning because I want to get to the bottom of who was the angry.
When India Today tried to contact Lt General Bakshi, he refused to comment. The chief of the Eastern Army Command has vowed to unmask those allegedly conspiring against him and those who apparently put him out of the reckoning to become army chief. It remains to be seen what his next big step is likely to be. With Sandeep Unnithan in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
A 30-minute long speech, and the kind of language that has been used therein, where men in the shadows have been spoken about, a malicious campaign, a deep-rooted conspiracy, and this is one of the senior-most officers currently in the Indian Army. Executive Editor Sandeep Unnithan, in fact, now joins us live on the newsroom. One thing is for sure, this speech did happen because there were over 3 lakh men who bore witness, right?
That's right. It happened at around the same time that General Rawat was taking over the office of the Chief of Army Staff here in Delhi. And this is when General Bakshi chose to address the Eastern Command, and in that 30-minute address that you heard, where he's made some very shocking allegations about conspiracies and, men in the shadows, and a very deep conspiracy against him, which is absolutely uncalled for, especially at a time when he's agreed to the government's decision. He says, I abide by the decision. But yet at the same time, this is what has happened.
And just just the kind of language that has been used, Sandeep, because outright he calls it a political decision, and he apparently says it more than once.
3 times.
Which is the last thing it should be. It should not be a political decision.
That's right.
But here you have a serving army commander, and this is the second most important command that we have, right?
That's correct.
With very important neighboring countries.
Yes.
How do you see this affecting the army, if at all?
But it raises very serious questions on General Bakshi's continuing as the Eastern Army commander, because throughout the speech he makes very little mention of the operational tasks that lie ahead of this very sensitive command, and instead he goes on to talk about these conspiracies against him and how he is going to get to the bottom of this conspiracy and that's the reason that he is still in service, which is, absolutely uncalled for.
Is there any precedent for someone like this, someone in service speaking out?
Well, not off late. We've been seeing a lot of precedents being broken in the last couple of years. So, this is just, we just have to add one more to that list.
And we have to say that a lot of, especially ex-servicemen that we have spoken to, Sandeep, have been appalled, to say the least, with the way things are going. Like you said, some very wrong precedents being set in the recent past. But why are these allegations so damaging? 5 main points why this claim by General Bakshi is so explosive. It's a direct attack on the government's leadership, where he says the appointment of the army chief was a political decision. Remember, the super session was much spoken about. Now he says it's a political decision. He implies that there is a traitor in the army ranks. Can you imagine that here's an army commander, Sandeep, who's saying that there's someone in my ranks, one of the men I'm commanding, is a traitor. Extremely strong language. Again, here is General Bakshi implying that a malicious intent was used to influence the succession. It wasn't just merit, which is what we were told earlier, that General Rawat was chosen purely on merit, but it was a malicious intent. He also has said that the army chief's selection was a political decision, like we said earlier. And fifth, and most important, he suggests that only he can probe anonymous letters. Final question to you, Sandeep. Till the time that General Bakshi retires, do you sense that things are only going to get uglier with maybe some leaks and this whole cloak and dagger business, something that the army really doesn't need or has ever seen in the past?
That's right, Padmaja. That is one very real danger of this, exactly what you mentioned, happening in the next few months. Because, given the very anger that, the sheer outrageous statements that he's made, and the conspiracy theories, and he sounds like a very angry man, and the reason that he's given for continuing as army commander is a very, very unfortunate reason, that he's there only to probe conspiracies against him. The second most important army commander in the country staying on for a reason as personal as this. It's absolutely uncalled for, in my opinion.
Well, this is an agenda-setting news break, and let's also tell you that tomorrow our entire team, including Sandeep, is going to be at the annual Army Chief Press Conference. We're certainly hoping to get some answers, a reaction from the new Army Chief, General Rawat, on these explosive revelations that have been made by the man that he superseded.